part is all about labor productivity. But before I start, let me introduce myself. My name is Aidelia Nemi from BSBA, Business Economics 8. Let me read the learning booklet. First, to know what is labor productivity. How to calculate labor productivity. To know what is the formula of labor productivity. Determine the factors of labor productivity and compare labor productivity to total factor productivity. What is labor productivity? Labor productivity is the concept used to measure the worker efficiency. It is calculated as the value of output produced by a worker per unit of time, such as an hour. By comparing individual productivity with the average, it can be identified whether a particular worker is underperforming or not. Labor productivity measures the output of the country's economy, especially it tracks the amount of real domestic product or GDP produced by an hour of labor. Growth in labor productivity depends on three main factors: savings and investment in physical capital, new technology, and human capital. How to calculate labor productivity? First, calculate the value of goods and services produced. This step involves calculating the money value of goods and services produced or rendered by the employee during the given period. Value means the such value of which those goods or services will be sold. Second, identify input man-hours. Input person hours mean the total number of hours taken by the employee to produce the goods or render the service. Third, divide and calculate the result. The last step is to divide the value of goods and services produced by input man-hours. The result figure will provide productivity per hour for an employee. Labor productivity in the Philippines. Philippines labor productivity improved by 1.23% in December 2021, compared with a drop of 3.54% in the previous year. We all know that 2020 is a forgettable year for all the Filipinos because of the pandemic. When the government implemented COVID-19 protocols and restrictions, we are not allowed to go outside. One of the most affected is the employees. There's so many workers losses their job because of their establishment was closed, and that leads of dropping the labor productivity in the Philippines.
Hello, my name is Betty May Ibita, student from BSBA, major in Business Economics. So I will discuss the labor productivity formula. In able to get the labor productivity of the worker, we must consider this formula. Labor productivity is equals to value of goods and services produced over input man-hour. Example of calculating labor productivity. In Goodwill Ltd, the worker produced 20 units in 5 hours. The company sells the unit at $30 per unit. So let us calculate the labor productivity. First, we must identify the total number of the worker produced, then multiply it to the price of the unit to be able to get the value of goods and services produced. So 20 units times $30 is equal to $600. The value of goods and services produced is $600. The input man-hour is 5 hours. After finding the value of goods and services produced and the input man-hour, we can apply the labor productivity formula, which is the value of goods and services produced over the input man-hour. So, $600 over 5 hours is equals to $120. Hence, the worker produces worth of $120 in There are four factors affecting the labor productivity, which are training, overtime, motivational level, and input use. Training. The level of training influences the labor productivity. If proper training is provided to the workers, productivity is expected to be increased. So every employee want to grow their careers. So it is essential to feel like their employer is invested to their professional development and provide them a relevant training opportunities throughout their journey in the company. So if the company doesn't provide them a proper training, the worker doesn't know or would not know they need to do or how to do more efficiently. So the productivity will be decreased. Overtime. If the worker is subjected to overtime hours, their productivity will be negatively impacted as the worker will feel tired or lethargic. So scheduling extended work hours or week exceeding a standard 8-hour work, it can lower work output or efficiency of the worker due to physical fatigue and poor mental attitude.
Good day everyone, I am Jennifer Trinidad, 22 years old, currently taking Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, major in Business Economics at Camarines Norte State College. For the continuation of our report, I will be discussing about the two remaining factors affecting labor productivity and the differences of labor productivity and total factor productivity. So, the third factor affecting the labor productivity is motivation level. In motivation level, the workers tend to perform better when they feel motivated. Thus, it is important to create an environment where the workers feel motivated and confident. For example, if a workplace made you feel lazy and tired all the time, you'll tend to feel unmotivated to do all the tasks assigned to you. Therefore, the employer shall think of ways that can motivate an employee in order to achieve the goals of the organization. Lastly, the inputs use. In inputs use, if a worker uses raw materials or defective machinery, the worker's productivity will be affected. In production or manufacturing industry, for example, conducting a manual labor can slow the productivity of a worker. However, if there will be usage of machineries, their production will be faster. But if the machineries are defective, most manufacturers opt out to choose manual labor than delay the production of output. Labor productivity versus total factor productivity. Labor productivity measures the amount of output per unit of labor. Meanwhile, total factor productivity measures the output per unit of total input. Always remember that if the output per unit of labor is being measured, it is referring to the labor productivity. And if the output per unit of total input is being measured, it is referring to the total factor productivity. Other sources state that labor productivity is used to measure the hourly output of a worker, and total factor productivity is used to measure the total inputs in production process.
Summary. First, labor productivity is used to measure workers' efficiency. Second, labor productivity measures the hourly output of a country's economy. Third, growth in labor productivity depends on three main factors, which are saving and investment in physical capital, new technology, and human capital. Fourth, to calculate the labor productivity, calculate first the value of goods and services, then identify the input man-hour, and lastly, divide and calculate the result. Fifth, labor productivity formula. Labor productivity is equals to value of goods and services produced over input man-hour. 6. The factors affecting labor productivity are training, overtime, motivation level, and input use. 7. Labor productivity calculates the output for a unit of labor, while total factor productivity calculates the output per unit of total input.